الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على المبعوث رحمة للعالمين وعلى آله وصحبه وأزواجه أجمعين. أما بعد. The news about Iran is prominent these days, especially with the situation with regards to the Strait of Hormuz, not Hormuz, Hormuz, and it being open, closed, and then the blockade and the threats going in both directions. So we spoke before about this war. It's a war of aggression by America and Israel. Even the rest of the West that usually supports America, like they are servants of America, this time said no, because their interests are being damaged severely by this war. So it's a war of aggression from the side of America and Israel. I would like to say that America and Israel have no business telling any country that they can have this weapon, but they can't have this weapon or whatever. Who are they to decide that, as they said, Iran can never have a nuclear weapon? Who are you? It's not up to you to decide about this, especially since Israel has nuclear weapons. Why should they have nuclear weapons but not Arab countries and Muslim countries? Pakistan, alhamdulillah, they can't do anything about Pakistan. But for other Muslim and Arab countries, their intention and their practice is to really be on full attack against any Arab or Muslim country that is trying to develop nuclear weapons. And therefore, the beginning of the argument is false. For America, for Israel, especially when they stand to address the United Nations that Iran is trying to build a nuclear weapon or whatever, they're this close, within 2 hours they're gonna explode a weapon or whatever. The people there should tell them, none of your business. Who do you think you are? Are you the one who decides which country can have which kind of weapon? This is to begin with. Secondly, why can't the world then squeeze, literally, Israel out of the maybe 80, 90 nuclear weapons they have? They know they have nuclear weapons. Why should they have but not Arab and Muslim countries? So this is an issue that I want to clarify. America and Israel and the West have no business telling any country what kind of weapons they can have. And as you see, they're not talking about this kind of military action against North Korea, because that man would hit any country that tries to blockade his country, for example, or attack them. He will hit them with nuclear weapons. Now, I also mentioned before, let's suppose that Iran, it has been taking them an awful long time to reach a conclusion. Pakistan, a short time after India started by testing nuclear weapons, they tested theirs. Now they have more than India has nuclear weapons, but the economy is bad in Pakistan. the Iranians taking so long and waiting for the Jews to assassinate their scientists and attack their facilities. Clearly, the Jews have spies in Iran uh, that give all kinds of information to the Jews about Iran. So, uh, America and Israel have no business telling Iran or any other country that they can't have nuclear weapons when they have, especially America, 6,000, more than 6,000. Russia has more, by the way, and it's taken Iran an awful long time to get that one nuclear bomb. So this is the point here. Number two, even the mullahs of Iran are not crazy, really, to when they have one nuclear weapon, they would engage a country like Israel with 80 or 90 nuclear weapons. They're not crazy. The nuclear weapon that Iran has been trying very hard for tens of years to develop is not for Israel. It's not for America, because who would have one stone, throw that stone at somebody who has 80 or 90 stones, or somebody who has 6,000? Who would do that? So it wasn't for America to destroy the world and everything, knowing that these things come from a liar who every time he opens his mouth, he lies, Trump, means that this is rubbish, this is garbage. And so now the point I just mentioned, that the nuclear weapon for Iran is not going to be about the Jews or about America or about anybody else. It's about the Sunni countries, especially in the Gulf area. Let me remind you, in case you forgot. My name is Jalal Abualrub, Jalalabualrub. Our website is islamlife.com, islamlife.com, and we have a number of our books. You see some of them here next to me, and this one behind me, 50 Righteous and Humane Concepts brought by Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. You will find these books as PDF on the website. Also, once you get there, maybe you'd like to send us a gift so that we continue working for the Quran and Sunnah and the way of the companions of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. By the way, we have this book on the website, the third edition of Holy Wars, Crusades, Jihad. 400 pages of comparison between the rulings of warfare found in the Old Testament, the New Testament, and the Quran and Prophet Muhammad's Sunnah practices. It's very important. So we spoke about what Iran is developing, not for the Jews. Okay, let me remind you again. During the time of the Shah, America was almost in full control of Iran. And the Shah was a terrible tyrant. Really, a terrible, terrible tyrant. And he killed his people. He stole their money and acted like he's an emperor and a Kisra, until he ran away from Iran and left his people to face their fate after the Islamic Revolution succeeded. So the Iranians, when they revolted, definitely Iran was a major aspect on their mind, Iran that is free from America and Israel. The Shah also betrayed the Muslims and had a very close relationship with the Jews, and the Iranians did not like that. When they revolted, on their mind was prominent the fact that America is literally occupying Iran, and the Jews had great influence on that terrible tyrant. So the revolution came and started, and the slogans naturally would be against the Shah and whoever installed him to be the Shah and helped him remain the Shah, who were very happy, content at a minimum, for the Shah to kill his own people, oppress them like unbelievable, even though he's living off of them. So on their mind, prominent was the Shah, America, Israel. So I was in Europe and I came here during the early era when the revolution in Iran succeeded and the Khomeini came back. Al-Khomeini, the slogans were natural. It's a revolution. What are they revolting against? The Shah, America, and Israel. I mean, so the slogan was death, death to America, death, death to Israel. But what they wanted to bring and what the constitution of Iran emphasized is the Shia religion. That's their goal. Remove those enemies of the Iranian people, and they were, and they still are. The Shah and his son is dreaming if he will go back there, and people will be lining up, in the streets and saying, "Oh, welcome, welcome, son of the criminal, the murderer." So they were revolting against the Shah, America, and Israel. So the slogan was death to America, death to Israel, death to the Shah. And it's a revolution, so death to America, death to Israel. They started with it, they still say it. After 47 years. You would imagine that any sane person would say, okay, we got rid of America, Israel, and the Shah. Let's build up our country. But the Shia had another plan. They wanted to establish a Shia Persian empire, a Shia, because the Shia religion is contrary to Islam. And the Sunni countries, especially in the Gulf area, they're Sunni, they're not Shia. So the whole thing was about spreading the Shia religion. What Khomeini bought in Al-Hukuma Al-Islamiyya, the Islamic government, is clear. It's about the Shia religion, spreading the Shia religion, and what they did is massive oppression of their own people. You see, in the beginning, people were still enthusiastic, but Khomeini started going after his enemies and those who supported the Shah and those who did not want to follow his Shia plan for Iran. They did a lot of killing and oppression, really. Read history. Their own people, the people who brought them to power, as soon as they get in power, they start oppressing the people who brought them into power. And Iran is an ancient nation. It's very big. Look at the map. It's very big, and they have a lot of treasures. Really, they have deserts, they have mountains, they have uh, seasonal rivers, they have, uh, and about 90 million people, 10 times the number of people in Israel. And it's a very large, big country with a lot of talent. But they didn't think about any of this. The mullahs wanted total control using the fabricated Shia ideology, because it's a fabricated religion. If you ask anyone, really, most people on earth will tell you about Islam. They would mention the Quran and Prophet Muhammad. Maybe they will mention the Sunnah, but the Shia refuse all three. And so it's a fabricated religion. So they wanted to force their religion on the people using the ideology to establish total control and to spread the Shia ideology to control the Sunni countries around them. So from the beginning, they took enmity to America, to Israel in slogan, not in practice, really. But in practice and slogan against the Sunni countries, very weak countries, they're divided. And the rulers there, they don't rule by what Allah has revealed largely, they don't. So it was really an opportunity for the mullahs to spread all that. Say, those Sunnis, they know they're for America, for Israel, for this and that. And the slogan was continuously, death to America, death to Israel. They didn't concentrate on the economy because such a country with a lot of talent and treasures, you would think that let me build up my country to make it strong. This way, if I will continue this slogan of death to America, death to Israel, at least I have a strong country able to sustain itself. And, this way we'll have 10 times the power that we need to at least maintain our independence. Well, they didn't think about that. They collected all the power to themselves, the mullahs, and all the money, a lot of money, really. While the people are suffering, have been suffering for 47 years. Don't think that because the slogan of Palestine, 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 that would make what they did to their people, the oppression, would make it justified. No. I'm a Sunni, alhamdulillah, Muslim, Salafi, from Palestine, from the West Bank, the city of Jenin, and all Muslims to me are equal with regards to respect for their blood, honor, and property. It doesn't make a difference. And Iran has tens of millions of Sunnis and millions more of commoner Shia who have some commonality with some kind of Islam, but the mullahs are the ones who have been deceiving them, now stealing their money and killing them. So 47 years, you would say the country should have been at least a major economic power in the area. It's nothing. It's always they have the money, the power, and they interfere in other countries and all that fabricated Shia religion and taken over and this and that and Hussein, and it's like madness. To them, it makes sense because I have the religion, so I can use the religion to suppress anyone who doesn't like our plan by saying, you're against Islam, and to take over the Gulf area. Lots of money in there, lots of money. In the meantime, money goes with the Shia religion, so the plan to them made sense. What didn't make sense is that they did not even help their own Shia population. Maybe 30 million Sunnis there, or 40, nobody knows the number. About a half or more of the population is Shia, about a half Persian, and we have other, nationalities there, and other religions, but mainly Shia and Sunni. So they didn't even help their own Shia people. It's just, it was, I got it now, and I'm not going to let go of it. Period. That's it. That's why they continued until today with the slogans. With the slogan, they couldn't get rid of it to normalize relations with other people, because spreading the Shia religion, which in their mind would bring them power and bring them money, cannot they will not be able to spread these ideologies among the, for example, the young Sunni Muslims by telling them, we want to convert you to the Shia religion. Because people say, including those who are not even religious, who say, no, I don't want to become Shia. Or you need to follow me and give me all your money and we'll suppress you. Of course, they're not going to do that. So to reach these young Muslim people, I'm trying to choose my words carefully here, they had to continue the slogan of Israel, Israel, Israel in their mind. But what have they done against America or Israel? I ask you, if you really are using this here will follow here. What did they do against America or Israel? Did they start any war against them? None. Zero. They only responded in retaliation to attacks on them. And it's not the first time. Many times it happened before. What did they do for Palestine? For Palestine. I wouldn't be pleased that we take a part of Palestine back from the Jews at the expense of the suppression, the oppression of the Iranian people, including the Shia. That's not what we want. And we're not going to win this way. They haven't done any war against America or Israel. The economy always gets worse, a lot worse under the mullahs, because they have no business running any economy. And the militias they have, the gangs that kill anyone who shows any kind of thinking the other way, even about, without having to do a physical, opposition. No, they just look how they killed the people in the streets, by the tens of thousands. This is not new. What Khomeini did in the beginning, the first few years, was a lot more. They killed so many people. They didn't care Shia, Sunni, Muslim, non-Muslim, doesn't matter, because they wanted revenge, and Khomeini was a man full of hatred. What would you think about someone who says the Quran was changed by the companions of Muhammad, who were worse than dogs and monkeys, or dogs and pigs? Forgot which one. That's what he says in his books. That's how much enmity he had and hatred. And he also did the same thing to their own people. So what did they do? Had they said to each other, okay, we had 5 years of the slogan, we tried to interfere in other countries, it's not working so far, let's get over it and, build our country and just put these slogans on the side. No, they wouldn't, because the mullahs are not losing anything, are they? You know that. They're not losing anything. It's all in here. And they have a fabricated religion to play on the emotions of the Shia population. They stood by when America occupied Afghanistan. They did nothing for 10, 20 years. They were happy when they came to occupy Iraq. And since then, even though they didn't even thank the Americans for handing them Iraq for free, really, for free, so that they can do the same kind of mullahing and stealing, theft. And Iraq is like really in very, very, very bad shape economically. They steal all the oil, all the money, and the killing, the division, fighting, infighting even between the Shia gangs. So they stood by, they didn't resist America when they came to Afghanistan or to Iraq, and they started killing the Muslims in Iraq to a horrific level. Hundreds of thousands of Iraqis were killed because of this war started by a low-life trash called Bush and Cheney. They're war criminals, really. And they started this whole thing. Iraq had nothing to do with 9/11 or with Al-Qaeda or anything. Just these people have lying tongues and hearts. And so they started with their own people in Iran. The Sunni were suppressed until today, very much suppressed and oppressed. If they're still alive or if they didn't escape from the country. Iraq, they did the same. Millions of people left the country, and all the wars and all the death and destruction, they control Iraq now. And look at the economy in Iraq. Then Syria. The Shia, among the Shia, the Alawi sect to which Al-Assad family belong to, are considered to be disbelievers by the Ja'fari Shias who control Iran and Iraq. Can you believe it? But they went into Syria and killed hundreds of thousands of Muslims. Hezbollah. Which war did they start against the Jews? None. But they sent 30,000 soldiers to kill the Muslims, men, women, and children in Syria, the Sunnis, because they wanted to establish from the borders of Afghanistan to the Mediterranean a new Kisra empire. And the people were like, but is it a drug? Kill Muslims, kill Muslims. Hey, death to America, death to Israel. Oh, okay. And they forget what they did of damage to Islam and Muslims, and the killing of hundreds of thousands of Muslims in Iran. And we don't accept or agree or call to the killing of civilians, Shia or no Shia. This is haram. We're not allowed to do that in Iran, in Iraq, in Syria, in Lebanon. And then they opened a new front in Yemen. And then all this, death to America, death to Israel, this slogan, like it was a morphine or something, they had in the muscle here, in the shoulder. People are like dizzy. They say death to America, death to Israel, but our countries, they're not saying, they're not saying that because they don't want to fight the Jews. I know that. Since I grew up really in Kuwait, I realized the Arabs don't want to fight the Jews. They don't. But these people say death to America, death to Israel. You would think that, okay, so what's next? Death to Arabs, to Muslims, to Persian Muslims, to any Muslim who is opposed to the Shia religion. But no death to America, no death to Israel. Israel hit them hundreds of times in Syria. But they didn't start anything against the Jews. And Hezbollah, 30,000 soldiers. But you did not send 30 soldiers to help Hamas, the reckless leadership of Hamas that followed some kind of fascination the Ikhwan al-Muslimun had for decades with the Iranians, for al-Shia. I have no idea what that fascination is, really. But, so they started what they started, and you would think that Iran, we'll destroy, we'll kill, we'll explode, or everything. You would think that they would, like, Hamas started at 7 a.m. Uh, Iran and Hezbollah would be shooting missiles at the Jews at 7:05 a.m. It didn't happen. Since then, it didn't happen. They lured the leadership of Hamas to start what they started, and then they deserted them. You know that. You all know that. You know that. Don't lie. Those who are supporting the Shia still wouldn't listen to any of these clear facts, the truth. Don't lie. The Muslims who are still sleeping, wake up. Now, Iran and America and Israel are in this war, which is mostly one sided. You know, they destroyed tens of thousands of targets in Iran. These targets belong to the Iranian Muslims. Yeah, the mullahs, they're not losing anything. Yeah, they lost some leadership. I think they were getting bored with that Khamenei, or almost 90 years old, 85 or whatever. So they got rid of them. But the mullahs are not losing. They have all the power of Iran and all the money. You would think they have anti-aircraft systems, guns, whatever, just missiles hidden above the surface of the of the earth and below. That's it. All this is what you have to show for after 50 years of death to America, death to Israel. And now, when they attacked you, very quickly they destroyed any air defenses, and as usual, the Jews and the West, really stupid. They think that once the West, or Israel, once we came in, we destroy everything. People have no ability to retaliate, and every time they find that they have ability to retaliate. So Iran, at the threat of losing all this power and money they had, let the people die, they would shoot so many missiles that the Jews did not expect. Really? You didn't expect that? You expected that once you go, you can destroy all the missiles and that's it? Iran didn't have much of an air force anyway. The Navy is ridiculous, was weaker than the Israeli Navy, which is small to begin with. And the economy is really bad. And they made enemies inside Iran and all around them. They didn't leave people to say, we have passion for the Iranians because, what for? They interfered in every country. So much death and destruction and enmity. So when they were attacked, who came to their rescue? Say, we have feelings for Iranians. No, you don't. And so the Jews, as usual, underestimate, or I don't know what was. You knew they were going to attack back, and they have all these missiles. And of course, the Jews lie, and the Shia lie. The Shia lie. We prevailed. No, you didn't. 15,000 targets were hit. They belong to the Muslims, the people of Iran. But the missiles, how come this missile, extremely powerful missile, whatever it is that they had, how come they didn't shoot at the Jews when Hamas started what they started? Which was, they were lured into doing it by Hezbollah and the Mullahs of Iran. Why now? Yeah, to defend themselves. The Palestinians, because they always knew it was a slogan. Nothing more. And they couldn't get rid of the slogan, even though they did nothing for Palestine. Those who don't like what I say, I don't care. I really don't care. I really don't care. Because you know that these people did nothing against America or Israel, did not start a single war. And they shoot all these missiles against the the Arab countries again, so that they tell the Arab countries, well, here we are. You have no choice now except to dig yourself more into America. I mean, are the Arab countries going to say, oh, okay, well, since they hit us, now we're going to cancel our agreements with America? No, they won't. They will dig more into it. Okay? They attack even Iraq, that belongs to the mullahs of Iran. Literally, really. Because of their oppression, because they occupied it illegally. They're hitting Iraq, they're hitting Oman, they're hitting Jordan, and Qatar, that promoted the Iranian way of doing things for many years. And the Iranians who are Muslims are saying to Qatar, thank you, you helped our oppressor. And the mullahs saying, thank you, here is a token of our appreciation, hundreds of missiles and drones. See, it's all, since they started, Iran, until today. False religion, false ideology, economic disasters, death and destruction for Muslims, and the least death and destruction for America and the Jews, with all the missiles that hit Israel. And the leadership of Israel is sitting there. Oh, we hit everything. Nothing's going to hit us. Really? You lie. They hide the information. And as I said, the Shia lie. They hide the extent of the damage. And here we are. What's next? The Shia of Iran should realize that these people made the Shia religion look a lot worse than it really is, and they haven't benefited. It's just disasters after disasters. So the mullahs of Iran need to go. Just get out. You stole hundreds of billions of dollars, literally. If Khamenei alone had 100 billion, make research in 100 billion in all kinds of countries, Eastern and Western countries, to companies that he started, that he owned. What about the rest of the mullahs? Not all mullahs were rich, The ones who had the money, the power, the militias. Subhanallah. And Muslims are still sleeping. They don't want to hear it. I don't care. I don't want Palestine to be given back to the Palestinian people like me at the expense of the death and destruction of Islam by the Shia religion and Muslims by the Shia mullahs. I don't want that. I really don't want it. There is no blessing in it. In summary, Muslims have had enough with the Shia of Iran, their religion, the death and destruction, the miserable economy. And when they are hit by America and Israel, they still go after the Sunni countries in the Gulf area. The mullahs of Iran and Iraq need to go. Hezbollah needs to be dissolved, and the Houthis too. La ilaha illallah, Muhammadun Rasulullah.